Dan Zirker is a US political scientist from the University of Waikato. He's got a PhD in political science from the University of Alberta and taught at universities in Minnesota, Idaho and Montana. He'll be with us throughout the evening to provide analysis as the numbers roll in, and he's in the studio with me now. What are the states that you're going to be keeping your eye on, Dan?
Well, North Carolina, of course, is very important. Texas is an important one. Arizona. These are states that were possible swing states, possible change states. And then, of course, Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Rust Belt states are very important. So far, Joe Biden doesn't have to win a huge number of states. He needs to win states that have a lot of electors, and that's what he's working on.
So tell us a bit more about Florida. Okay, so we've both been watching this rather intently, and is now telling us that 94% of the vote is counted in there, and Donald Trump is on 51%, Joe Biden on 47.8%. There's been Donald Trump's message there. He kept talking through the campaign about socialism. Can you put some context around that?
Yes, there's a large and very aggressive Cuban-American community in Florida, which has been resisting, insofar as possible, any rapprochement with Cuba, and which has really emphasized the focus that, or the major focus of conservative Republicans in Florida. Nonetheless, this is a very surprising result right now. President Trump leads by perhaps 3 percentage points with 94% of the vote counted. This was predicted to be a much closer election and perhaps one in which Biden may have won. The important thing about Florida right now is the way in which it is a segmented society. Northern Florida is highly conservative. The expectation is that they will almost always return a conservative vote. And the Miami-Dade County area is a very mixed result, in part because of the Cuban-American focus, but typically Miami-Dade should go for the Democrats. So this result right now, and Miami-Dade is a huge part of the Florida election, this result is not only surprising, but it points to a possible Trump journey back to a victory, because whereas Biden did not have to win Florida, Trump did. Trump has to win Florida in order to proceed with a possible chance at winning the election.
So it's the first step on the ladder for Donald Trump to get back into the White House. Without it, he would have been pretty much spent.
That's absolutely true, Lisa. In fact, I would have to say that he now has, with some of the Rust Belt state returns coming in, he actually has not a huge chance, but a reasonable chance, maybe within the 20% range, to start climbing back into a leadership position.
The other thing about Florida is it has a lot of retirees, a lot of senior citizens. So coronavirus is obviously a massive issue in the US at the moment. How do you think, does this tell us anything about the way the senior population in America is voting?
Well, it certainly does. In fact, it begins to tell us that coronavirus is not going to be as big an issue with elderly as we had thought it might be.
So do they care more about taxes than they do about dying?
They care more about the economy. And you know, President Trump has done very well in opinion polls regarding his ability to handle the economy. And we know from President Clinton's presidency that the ability to deal with the economy was the secret to both election and re-election.
And I noticed some of the US networks' election exit polling was suggesting that, again, the economy was one of the top issues there. Before we move on, North Carolina, I just want to touch on this because, again, this is one that for Joe Biden is an interesting prospect as well. So North Carolina, we got 89% of the estimated vote counted, 49.8% to Donald Trump and 49 0.9% to Joe Biden. So we've got 0.8% in it there, with almost 90% of the vote counted. How important is this state to Joe Biden?
This is a critical state in some regards because of the closeness of the election. This could be drawn out in disputes in the future, a legal dispute. But North Carolina has, in the Raleigh-Durham area, a high-tech industry that has brought in a lot of younger, more university-educated people. And that is beginning to affect the overall profile of the state. But although 89% of the vote has been reported, that 11% is going to be very crucial and could be coming from rural areas which have traditionally supported much more conservative candidates.
And so 15, is it 15? I'm just checking. 15 electoral college votes associated with North Carolina. And we were playing with the map and building some possible paths to the White House. Yeah. And we can see that if Joe Biden gets North Carolina, he can afford to lose Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Arizona, depending on how the other states play out. So as you say, that will be one to watch. And we'll be coming back to Dan throughout the program for his political analysis.